Join me as I dive into some wild urban legends and see if I can handle the creepiest ones that will definitely make me think twice. Urban legends have been a staple in our cultural zeitgeist for centuries, reflecting our deepest fears and darkest curiosities, from monsters lurking in the shadows to cursed objects and haunted places. These stories have a way of captivating our imagination and sending shivers down our spines. The thing about urban legends is that they often walk the fine line between fact and fiction, making it difficult to distinguish what's real from what's just cleverly crafted tale. This ambiguity is what makes them so fascinating, as our brains are wired to seek answers to make sense of the world around us. Our fascination with urban legends also says a lot about our societal anxieties at any given time. For instance, in the 70s and 80s, we saw a surge in legends about satanic cults and ritual sacrifices, reflecting our fears of the unknown and the perceived threat to traditional values. This blurring of lines between reality and the myths is what makes urban legends so compelling, and it's exactly what we'll be exploring today. From creepy creatures to bizarre events, we'll delve into some of the most intriguing legends out there and try to separate fact from fiction. Let's start with the legend of the Slender Man, who is a towering figure with no face and a penchant for abducting children. This modern-day boogeyman has been making the rounds online since the early 2000s, with some people claiming to have seen him lurking in the woods or stalking their neighborhoods. But what makes the Slender Man so fascinating is that he's an entirely internet-born phenomenon, created by a single user on an online forum and then taken on a life of its own. Another legend that's been making waves is the story of the Kushak Unan, or the slit-mouthed woman, a Japanese spirit who's said to approach people and ask if they think she is beautiful. If you answer no, she kills you on the spot. And if you answer yes, she removes her mask to reveal a grotesque mouth slit from ear to ear. This legend has been around since the 17th century, and its persistence can be attributed to our deep-seated fear of being judged and rejected. As we explore these urban legends, we start to see a pattern emerge. They often reflect our darker impulses and societal anxieties, tapping into our primal fears and curiosities. But what if I told you that one of these legends has a shocking twist, and that it will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about it? The legend of Rake, a humanoid creature with a penchant for tormenting children, has been around since the 19th century, with sightings reported across Europe and North America. But here's the twist. The Rake might not be a legend at all. In fact, there's evidence that it was inspired by a real-life figure, a French nobleman who was known for his cruel and sadistic tendencies. This raises interesting questions about the nature of the truth in fiction and how our perception of reality can be shaped by stories we tell ourselves. Danny has put into chat, if you remember, the case of two girls that have been seen that have seen the Slender Man, who told them to kill another of their friends. It was an actual case, and they are serving time for the crime right now. Interesting that fact there. Texas is a state rich with history and folklore, and it's no surprise that it has a plethora of urban legends. And we're going to talk about a few right now. Jarrell, you want to come on, or Rachel want to come on and tell us about one that you know about?
Well, there is the Stagecoach Road, Marshall, Texas. There is a little history of Stagecoach Road. Before the Civil War, in the earlier, even before the 1800s, Stagecoach Road was a transportation hub for stagecoaches going from Shreveport, Louisiana to Marshall and possibly on to other towns. However, there is a legend that takes place of the Lady in White. And she lived on part of Stagecoach Road. And the legend goes that she took her kids out to the marsh and drowned them. And let me explain. Marshall, Texas has a lot of swampy area. It is the hub off of Caddo Lake and other small creeks and stuff that create a marsh environment. But anyway, she drowned her kids in the marsh and she went back with intentions to kill herself. She found that she was too afraid to kill herself. She could go through with it. So the town of Marshall at that time period found out her bad deed. And let's just say they helped her decide she was going to go for what she had done to her children. So they took it into their own hands and they killed her. Well, jumping forward later on, 20th century and abroad, even now, there's a legend out there that there's a lady in white, the mother of the children, and she's wandering parts of Stagecoach Road. It's not known if she's looking for her kids. I assume she's not because, she took them out. And some people have claimed to see one of her children and sometimes see all of them together on Stagecoach Road. So that's one of the legends that's happened in Stagecoach Road. Rachel and I used to live in Marshall years ago, and we lived about 10 acres away from Stagecoach Road that was covered in trees on our side of it, so we couldn't see it. However, certain times of the weekend, we would hear immense drums playing, and it kind of scared Rachel. And me, I was raised with it; it never really bothered me. But it's neither here nor there. But a lot of people speculated as to where the drums were coming from. But we would clearly hear them. It is believed that there was a satanic church out on Stagecoach Road, as there were old buildings in the past, um, that probably was remained, and and it could be a coven. People do tend to understand different religions other than Christianity. Keep in mind, Marshall is part of the Bible Belt. There are other legends in Marshall, Texas. There's the Scottsville Cemetery, which we can get into another time. But I think that Stagecoach Road is a worthy investigation for us. I think I would like to see definitive proof of the lady in white, and see what's out there. So, there's other legends that abound on Stagecoach Road, but we'll get into that. So, but that's my take, and that's what I brought to the table tonight. So keep in mind, guys, if you want to go on a ghost hunt and you want somewhere to go really scary, Stagecoach Road is known for being very spooky and very, very scary. As a matter of fact, it's in the top list of the most haunted places in Texas. Let that sink in, guys. Halloween's coming. Hey, what an awesome time to possibly go on an investigation. Love you guys. I'm going to step off. I'm not leaving the room, but I'm going to mute and I'm going to turn my camera off. But love each and every one of you, and I will probably have something to say toward the end.
Okay, Danny says, let's investigate in chat.
I'm with Danny. Okay. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, there is a similar tale called The Legend of La Llorona. It's a haunting old Mexican tale that's from the 1700s that tells of a woman who drowned her children in a fit of rage and now wanders the streets at night weeping for her lost children. She is often seen near bodies of water, such as rivers and lakes. It's believed that this happened near the town of Castroville or Honda area at the regional park on the Medina River. Anyway, she had an affair with a gentleman in the next town, and she decided she was going to leave her husband and go live with this gentleman. And when she started to leave, the husband got angry and made her take the children. And she knew her boyfriend would not want the children. So She took them on a picnic near the bank of the river in this park, and it was on a cliff, and she threw the youngest over first, who was about 4 years old, who could not swim. And when the older boy came up to try to help and see what was going on, she threw him off the cliff into the water also. As some time passed, she went to be with her boyfriend, and that only lasted for about 2 years. And so after this, she was feeling guilty. She came back to the river area, was going to kill herself. She didn't have it in her to do that. And some people had heard about it, and they came and threw her off the same cliff where she killed her children. And her body was picked up out of the river a couple of days later. So that's a very similar tale about a haunting and water and children being killed. Another interesting movie that we had was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, while this is a fictional horror film, it's based on a true story of Ed Gein, a serial killer from Wisconsin who was known for his gruesome crimes. Gein's actions inspired the film's characters and plot. So that's how that came to be a story. Another urban legend is the Mothman of Point Pleasant. This creature is said to have glowing red eyes and a wingspan of 10 feet. It was reportedly seen in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in the 1960s, and some believe it may be connected to a bridge collapse that occurred in the area. We also have the legend of the ghost of Bigfoot. While Bigfoot is often associated with the Pacific Northwest, there have been reported sightings of a hairy creature in Texas as well. Some believe that a Bigfoot may have roamed the Lone Star State in the past. The legend of the Texas Phantom. This mysterious figure is said to have haunted the streets of various Texas towns, often appearing as a dark hooded figure. Some believe it may be the ghost of a vigilante or a supernatural entity. I forgot to tell you that in the legend of the La Llorona, that she's seen wearing white. She's been seen wearing a red dress, indicating that they think is indicative of the blood that was spilled of her children. And also she's been seen in a black dress. So she is often seen dressed in black, red, or white. These are a few examples of the many legends that have captured Texans for generations. Each legend has its own unique story and history, and many continue to be debated and discussed today. Another is the Boggy Creek Monster, as a legendary creature said to inhabit Boggy Creek up near the Marshall area, a tributary of the Trinity River in East Texas. It is often described as a large, hairy, bipedal creature similar to Bigfoot or Sasquatch. This story has been going on up there for a really long time. There have been numerous sightings and reports of Boggy Creek Monster over the years, but no definitive proof of its existence has ever been found. Many of the accounts are anecdotal, and there is a great deal of skepticism surrounding the creature's existence. Danny has put in the chat, let's investigate La Llorona, the crying woman. The Texas Chainsaw is true, and there is a house where it took place. The Silence of the Lambs was based on Ed Gein. Okay. Despite the lack of concrete evidence of the Boggy Creek Monster, remains a popular topic for discussion and speculation among cryptozoologists and enthusiasts of the paranormal. A couple of others that I have mentioned here is the Woman Hollering Creek off Interstate 10 near Seguin, also known as the Donkey Lady. The Glowing Gray of Karen Silkwood. If some of you remember the movie Silkwood, I can't remember who starred in that. But anyway, it's about the lady that was got radioactive treatment and exposure while she was working for, I think it was Kerr McGee. and she was killed. Cher and Meryl Streep is what Danny's in the chat. So anyway, that happened. And she was killed in an automobile accident while she was on her way to talk to the Nuclear Enforcement Commission. Another one is the Black Jesus statue in Oakwood Cemetery. I tell you what I'm going to do here. I am going to drop my screen over here, which may be a mistake. I'm going to go to Exploring the Supernatural YouTube channel, and I am going to look for videos, and I'm going to play a video I did. I was when Shaban was living with me, I got a call from Channel 13 News, and they asked me to go and with their reporters and see about an investigation. And so I have the report that was actually aired on their channel. Here we go. Let's see if I can share that.
These people here may know a bit about it.
All we call him around here is Black Jesus. So
I know that there are spirits.
Step into Oakwood Cemetery. Walk to the back.
The comforting Christ.
And you will see him.
The Black Jesus.
I'll get a little nervous, I guess. But
he is shrouded in local lore. They say sometimes his eyes are closed, sometimes they are open. This statue was commissioned by a grieving judge and his wife.
The young boy, who was 5 years old, had his tonsils out in Austin, Texas, and he died on the operating table in 1923.
So they say that sometimes that the statue actually cries.
And they say the palms that normally face downward sometimes turn up.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
As for the color,
it's not black, it's bronze, and bronze turns dark, and the acid from the different trees turn it darker.
This burial ground includes the remains of men who lent their names to Texas cities, Houston and Tomball. So much history.
She died in 1892.
And perhaps paranormal hijinks. We decide to wait for night. Paranormal investigators agree to come out. Meters go off.
It's unexplained that we're getting any milligausses here at all.
He says he has made contact with the child whose grave is marked by the statue.
Okay, back off, Raleigh. Is Jesus real? Step forward, Raleigh. Oh, that's a strong. Okay.
How do we know you're not moving those?
That's why I wanted you to do it.
I don't want it. But my photographer is willing.
Raleigh Powell, are you here? Can you feel? Yeah, I can feel it. Hey, Raleigh. The rods are definitely spinning on their own.
We ask about the statue. Will we see the palms turned up?
Right now. Okay. Will we see the palms up right now if we walk back there? Yes. We will see the palms up if we walk back there? Yes. Okay.
The milligausses jumped 35, so there was a real high energy.
We walk down the path to the statue. The palms are in the same position, downward.
Were you mistaken? Can you get Jesus to move his palms up?
Nothing happens with the statue, and then these instructions to Raleigh.
Right. Go get a stick and break it for us somewhere. Step on it, jump on it, make a noise.
7 seconds later,
I heard something over there.
Did you?
A photograph showed what could be orbs of energy. As for the statue, it remained an image of peace. We left with no further incident.
Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
This historian says,
but I don't believe this statue moves.
And he is skeptical about ghosts, even little ones. He invites the living to visit this place of the dead, but please, he says, come in the right spirit.
I just hope people respect it and look at it as a thing of beauty. It's a beautiful statue.
Sherry Williams, KHOU 11 News.
Okay, I've got to get the chat back up so I can see y'all. What did y'all think about that? Did y'all see it okay?
I thought it was pretty good, John. Although I have a question. Who was that young guy with the EMF detector in there? Who is
I don't
that?
know who that guy was. He's a stranger.
John, I think you need to sue the city of Houston. You have an imposter out there, man. But I thought the video was very well for what I could hear from it. Both Rachel and I tried to get as much sound as we could out of it.
Okay.
I thought it was very well done. I thought the interviews were conducted good, and I actually liked it. I may go back and watch it again on my time so I can hear
Okay.
everything said.
Okay.
But I liked it.
Okay. So anyway, we have some stuff on from Danny in the chat, and it wasn't an accident; it was murder when she's talking about Silkwood, Karen Silkwood, and then she wanted me to go ahead and play the video I played, and she asked, "What is this tape on?" This tape is on YouTube. I got it from Channel 13 on their YouTube site, copied it to my YouTube site, but it's in a special Channel 13's folder. Not everybody can see it. It's only special people that I allow access to. But if you need to see it or want to see it, let me know, and I will certainly set you up with it. And let's see, I've got to get my other screen back up. Okay, now, so we talked about the Black Jesus statue in Oakwood Cemetery in Huntsville, Texas. You just saw the Channel 13 news clip from that. Another place that we've been that has had some interesting results is Martha Chapel Cemetery on Demon Road in Huntsville, Texas. And there are some stories there. And actually, there was a noose up in the tree. I have a photograph of a noose that was still in the tree. Of course, Jarrell had mentioned Patterson Road, also the Bragg Road, Joliet, the Alamo, to name a few, Sanderson Battleground, the Battleship, Texas. So as we wrap up this journey into the world of urban legends, it's clear that these stories have a profound impact on our understanding of the world and ourselves. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride. And if you got a favorite urban legend, be sure to share it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our other videos and more intriguing content. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and like our videos that you enjoy so we can make more like them. Thank you and good night.